Blessings. Good morning. Welcome to my YouTube page. Spiritual high places and strongholds. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities of darkness and rulers and governors of this world. Yeah. Good morning. I got my little crustable PBJ. The mud's hard. I ain't gonna lie. Alright, look, so on to morning's topic. Y'all don't mind the floral background. This is my T. Jones car. I'm renting her car right now. Got my car in the shop. But anywho, alright, so let's talk about this David Karesh thing, right? Y'all remember that dude, David Karesh, in the Davidians. So, I just want to talk about, how devout those people were. They was wrong as hell, but they was devout as hell too. So I just want to talk about that a little bit. Like, for a lot of people, they'll judge that man like, oh, well, this and that, which he did do a lot of crazy stuff. He did a lot of crazy stuff. Can't lie about that. But I was just thinking that, like, today's Christians, like, man, would y'all even know how to be that devout? Like, yeah, the guy was wrong and all that, but them, man, they died a real Christian death. Like, if Christians were persecuted the way that the word tell you that Christians would be persecuted, y'all wouldn't make it. Y'all wouldn't make it. Y'all too cute. And this is no condemnation on you. I'm just judging because God gave me He gave me the authority to judge. So I make a judgment. But yeah, y'all wouldn't make it. Y'all too soft. Y'all wouldn't even do no real persecution like that. Those people got burnt up. Yeah. And they got attacked by a real enemy. Like God said, He said spiritual darkness in high places, the rulers on this world. He ain't talking about no. See, He said, yeah, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. But the thing that He described, that's a real thing. He talking about governors and stuff that go on out here, like rulers of this world, talking about how crooked they are. Because they are crooked. And we ain't gonna really get into that because God gave them authority too. He ordained them just like He ordained the good people and all that. So, but I'm just saying how, like, those folks died a real Christian death. Like, if you had to have one, if it had to be a Christian death, bro, they died a real one. They died like real G's. They went out like real gangsters, bro. Like, even though his message and the things that he promoted and did, they was all jacked up, crooked, and all that kind of stuff. Man had a whole bunch of other problems going on. But nevertheless, like I say, like, that's what a Christian death's supposed to look like. That's what a persecution really look like. You do that to somebody out here in America, bro. Well, it did happen in America, but I'm just saying you do that to like just the Miss Lady at the Baptist church. You know what I'm saying? Just your everyday Joe, your everyday Joe Schmo. Man, boy, let me tell you. Y'all ain't seen no real persecution, bro. And I ain't either, so I can't say nothing, but yeah, y'all ain't seen nothing. But Those folks, they really stood on what they believe. You know, they really sold everything on they fake. Y'all ain't doing nothing like that. Y'all ain't giving up none of y'all cashmere stuff and all that, the minks and all that kind of good stuff. Y'all not doing that, bro. You know, cause see, over here in the States, bro, the Christians over here are so comfortable. And I ain't saying that all Christians are just on some fugazi stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying more so the overall picture with believers, like a lot of them are just really comfortable, like they cooling. Like when Paul wrote that letter to the Corinthians, the church in Corinth, he was talking to y'all. Church in Rome, he talking to y'all. Matter of fact, yeah, the church in Rome, he was talking to y'all. He was talking to y'all there. What are y'all doing, fighting over who and this and that? Like, that's y'all. And then now we got all these subgroups, Hebrew Israelites and all of that. And there's no shade on none of these organizations, bro. You know, I'm just saying. But you get into each one of these groups and they all standing on something different. You know what I'm saying? Some particular from the Bible, like, oh, well, this is what we believe and this and that. You know what I'm saying? All of it is a distraction. For real. But like I say, back to the Davidians though, man. Those folks live the real. If you just want to be real, those folks live the closest life to what we could think of what a believer's supposed to look like. And they died. They died a martyr's death. Like, they really went out for what they believed, bro. They got whacked. Like, for real. Got murdered. The kids, too. Nah, for real. They did them dirty. And you gonna have some folks probably sit back and like, oh, well, they deserve that because of all the crooked shit that was going on. Man, that don't even make sense, bro. That don't even make sense. Those are the closest thing I can imagine, like, or proof of like a actual Christian martyr. Not crucifixion, but persecution. That's the closest thing I can think to. Like, that's the closest thing that we witnessed in our time. And I know a lot of y'all that are probably watching this are probably too young to even remember that kind of stuff. You'll have to Google it or YouTube, you'll find it. But it happened in our time period. But yeah, those folks, they really believe what they believe. They was really standing on that. Just like Paul and them did in the church. They sold everything, gave up everything, gave up their family, all that kind of stuff. You know, all that, the hard stuff to do as believers, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of believers, they battle with that, like, damn, like, you know, well, how do I give up my mind and all that, and Auntie T and them, yeah, they not believers like me. And I ain't saying you gotta cut people off, but if you're a believer, you know the word and what the word tell you to do, so just follow God's word, don't follow what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, like, you know, a lot of people it'll be hard for them to even consider something like that, like giving up everything and moving to a place. Hell, we called that a cult. We all out, they in a cult. They in a cult over there. You know? A lot of people couldn't do nothing like that. A lot of people they couldn't stand on nothing like that, bro. Like, y'all be out of there, bro. Like, y'all be out of there. Y'all would not survive that. For real. And the way they went out like real a real Christian death, bro. They got murdered, bro. Like, they got whacked down, bro. Like, stomped on, stepped on, all that, bro. The kids and all that. Set them on fire, dog. Like, y'all niggas would, boy, y'all would, boy. And there's no shade on nobody. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people not really what they think they is. Like, you know, ain't really ready to go to war like they really think they are. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those folks got did dirty. They did. But like I say, that's the closest thing that I can think to a Christian death. Like, they died like real believers, bro. Like, how a believer's supposed to die. Like, you know, if they gonna get took up out of here like that. Like, you know, I ain't saying there's no specific way a believer's supposed to die. But if you're gonna get persecuted, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the way the Bible talk about it, like, you know, it'll be something like that. Like, real talk. You know, we hear stories of people like in Africa and all that. See, over there, and I don't even want to just use Africa, but I just say overseas, like in countries that we don't really know, that I don't really know, over here in the States. You know, so I can't pinpoint each location, but we hear these stories. But like, also keep in mind, like, over there, they built different. Like, you know, and their culture is different. Like, their culture has a strong voice of reason behind the things they do. So like, you know, they might hang you or kill you for something like homosexuality and stuff like that. So it's different over there, bro. Like, you know, just the whole culture is different. You know, you couldn't really do nothing like that over here in the States. But yet they was really over here doing something like that. Like, really, not persecuting people, just, you know, living on a ledge, bro. Like, honestly, like, yeah, man. But like I say, those people, that's the only people I can think of that really like went out like real Jesus God, bro. And they were claiming the faith. So, you know, he was just messed up. He was just jacked up person. But like I say, like, shoot, he was more devout than a lot of people are.